So yeah, Griff, would you mind just briefly introducing yourself and just kind of share what you were studying when you joined FIE in Dublin?
Yeah, for sure. So my name is Griff. I'm from Toronto in Canada. Um, and I go to the University of Western Ontario, studying statistics. And I was introduced to FIE in 2023 at a conference. And I talked to Graham Hesp, who was amazing, and told me all about the programs that FIE has. Um, so I figured I should apply the following summer, and a lot of good has come out of it.
Awesome, awesome, good, great to hear, great to hear. So when are you scheduled to graduate? You're still a student now, right?
Yeah, so I'm scheduled to graduate in the following April. So I have one more or two more semesters of school, another like year of school, and then I'll be finished. Yeah.
Okay. So it's been about a year or two now then since you actually were in Dublin and doing your internship. Was that
Mhm.
during the summer or the fall semester?
Yeah, so I did it last summer. I believe I was there July and August. It was an 8-week program. So yeah, it was amazing.
Awesome. So this next question, feel free to go into as much or as little detail as you wish, but how do you feel your time with FIE, just kind of both studying and interning, kind of help shape where you are now a year or so later?
For sure. So I think, I mean, in terms of like the personal aspect, FIU was very accommodating and the way that the internship was set up, well, I didn't know what I was going to be doing until I arrived in Dublin, which I thought was interesting, but based on the sort of application that I filled out, they were able to find like an amazing, like well-suited job for my interests. So I was super nervous going into it. But then when I found out what it was and what I'd be doing, I thought this is perfect for what I guess finding out what if what I'm studying is what I want to do in life. Um, and yeah, so my experience over those 8 weeks, the mix of studying and the internship placement, um, it was amazing. And this summer, I've gotten a job that is similar to the one that I got at FIE because I enjoyed that so much.
Awesome. That's nice to hear. And what made you choose Dublin? There's like so many different study abroad, or rather locations that you could go to study and intern abroad. What was it about Dublin that kind of drew you to it?
Um, I have some Irish background, so that was definitely a factor, and like being able to, I had been once before, but maybe only for like a night, because my mom's family is from Wales. So I've visited before, but I did quite enjoy it when I got to visit before. So I wanted to kind of, I guess, experience it a little more and be able to truly see what the Irish experience was about.
And how do you find that having like 8 weeks this time to really kind of immerse yourself, in Dublin and in Ireland?
It was amazing. I think it was actually the perfect amount of time, because it let me get past that barrier of doing like the touristy stuff. And it made me feel much more integrated in the culture because obviously the first, 2 weeks-ish, you're doing all the like the things you have to do when you go to Ireland, like all the tourist stuff. But then spending a little more time there, and like traveling, first of all, like the trains around Ireland are like you can get anywhere that you want. So just being able to immerse myself in the culture more and working for a company that has, Irish people working for it, they were able to tell me what the like true gems of Ireland were. So I was able to experience something that most people wouldn't have experienced without that connection.
Yeah, I totally understand that. So yeah, you mentioned, kind of some of the colleagues you were working with. Can you tell me a little bit more about like your internship experience? Like what kind of organization was it and what kind of role did you take or projects and responsibilities did you have?
So the company I worked for it was a little interesting because it was a tax organization, like a tax agency, but they are a company that focuses on doing Americans who have moved to Ireland their taxes, since they have to still pay the taxes or fill out their tax forms even after leaving the US. So that was a bit of an interesting perspective. And then the people that I worked with were amazing. First of all, it was a small company, so there was three permanent employees along with many interns as well. So one of the permanent employees was an American, but he had been living in Dublin for, I believe, like 30, 40 years. So he had a great perspective on what it's kind of like going from the North American culture into the Irish culture. Um, and everyone was extremely nice there. And then the role that I had was essentially it was a research and data analytics role. Um, so I was doing research on the IRS public database on um, statistics of income, especially like for those who had emigrated from the US, mostly to Ireland, but other countries as well. Um, so I was doing research and analysis on that data to try to help find potential clients and project the growth rates of the company as well.
Yeah, that sounds like good experience for sure. And you said now you're kind of doing something maybe a little similar, or
Mhm. Yeah, so it's the company is very different. I work for a firework company at the moment. It's another internship type of role. But in essence, it is like less research oriented, but there's a lot of analysis and trying to project future sales, as this is a company that has a lot of pop-up sales for Victoria Day and Canada Day, which are big here for fireworks. Um, so mainly trying to project future sales so that it makes it easier for them to deliver the right products to the right places for the coming years.
extremely valid. I definitely see the correlation there, for sure in terms of like projections. Uh, okay. Um, can you tell me something memorable, either like personally or professionally, that kind of really stayed with you from your time in Dublin?
I would say that probably the personal thing that was very important to me and like has stuck with me since is all the amazing people I got to meet through FIE. Not just the employees, but also the in the residence building that I lived in. There's plenty of people doing similar programs. And while we had different placements or they might have been doing more study and less internships. It was great to be in an environment with other people in a different country they've never visited. Kind of having sharing those new experiences together was a lot of fun, and just the orientation stuff that FIE did when we arrived and for the first couple weeks where they would take us around to certain places and kind of do group events, which helped us all become closer as friends, this people who arrived all together. Um, and then professionally, I would say that um, feeling like the work that we were doing, the place that I was interning at had it was a bit of a revolving door, but between 4 to 8 interns at a time while I was there. Um, and the work that we were doing felt very valuable, and we could actually see some of it be used, and like what we were doing was like actually helping the company, and it made us feel very important to them.
And so of like the excursions and the group activities that you did in Dublin, was there any one that was maybe your favorite?
Yeah, so we actually were able to do a an excursion to GAA kind of field, which is like the, I believe, Gaelic Athletic Association, where they play hurling and like I'm blanking on the name of the other sport, but it was amazing. We got to try out both sports, have such a fun day, like playing and practicing and seeing, videos of how they actually play. And then it actually inspired me as well to, we ended up a couple people I knew, we went to a, a hurling game, a match at a stadium, and it was super exciting.
Yeah, I went to visit our location in Dublin last year around November, and got a little bit of an introduction into to hurling and what have you. Just a overview or summary if see any matches or get to play it all. But I'm big on sports, so yeah, I can imagine that being a cool experience.
Mhm.
If you had to sum up your FIE experience in Dublin in just one word, what do you think it would be and why?
I would say inspiring, because it wasn't something I was super comfortable doing. Kind of going to a different country where a lot of people that went did like knew people that they were doing the program with, and they had a friend there. But I kind of went in alone. I didn't know anybody. I didn't know what I was going to be doing. Um, and So inspirational in that way of sort of taking me out of my comfort zone and doing things that I normally would not have done. And then another way that it was inspirational to me was kind of helping me figure out the line of work that I want to end up in. It was very helpful to kind of have that experience because, a lot of people would spend 4 years in university and have no real experience in the field that they're studying. So I think it was super valuable to have that experience before, completing your degree, and being able to figure out that this is actually what I want to do and this is the type of work I want to do.
Absolutely, absolutely. And just one more question here for you, Griff. What advice would you give to future students considering studying and interning abroad with FIE?
I mean, the biggest thing I would say is keep an open mind. Don't be closed off to any experiences or any new people. Because whether you're going alone or with a friend, like you might not want to like leave your comfort zone, or you might say, oh, I'm not going to do this because I don't really like it. Whereas like in my experience, um, even things that I wasn't comfortable with or I wouldn't normally want to do, I sort of pushed myself to do it, and I think I'm better for that experience. And you only really get an opportunity like that once, if that, in your life. So I think you have to take full advantage of it and really buy into the program.
Absolutely. Yeah, keeping a open mind goes a long way, uh, just in life and in general, for sure, I think. So, um, Griff, I really appreciate your time. Is there uh, any final thoughts, comments, things you want to share? No pressure, but if there's anything that comes to mind, yeah, the floor is yours.
I would just say, like, whether it's a country you've always wanted to visit or a country you'd never expect to go to, or, whether you're studying abroad or doing an internship, I would say that you should just go for it because, as I just said, like you only get that kind of opportunity once, if that, in your life, and you might as well take it if it's there for you. So, yeah,
It's the perfect sound bite, Griff. I really appreciate it.
yeah, no problem. Of course, Marcus.